My name is Robert Christopher Wayne Weathers. I live at 3102 Central Hill Road, Edgar, Mississippi, 38841. I am under attack by Scientology. So let me explain Scientology. There are more than 3 dimensions. There are 12 in total. 4 sets of 3 dimensions each. We have biology in these extra dimensions, body parts, organs, and tissues that are extra dimensional. We have more organs and tissues than we can see. We utilize this extra dimensional biology to have an afterlife. The human genome produces a 12-dimensional humanoid with horns on our head. We are Anunnaki. Every one of us, every human produces an Anunnaki. When you die, you live on. Your consciousness moves into this Anunnaki, and you fly into outer space to live among the stars. That is the human afterlife experience. We are alien in the afterlife. Scientology is the practice of removing this extra dimensional biology from themselves. And they utilize technology and techniques to turn them into upper dimensional vehicles. Biologies that they can drive through the upper dimensions while they are still alive. So there are humans on Earth driving aliens through our upper dimensions, through our atmosphere. They are star people, little humanoids and big humanoids in the upper dimensions. A large percentage of these people are criminal. They hurt people. And the reason is their technology has a narcotic-like effect upon them. They stimulate brain and central nervous system, their organs and tissues in their brain. They are stimulating themselves. This elevates neurochemistry. It causes the brain to produce neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And it causes their glands to produce hormones such as growth hormones, testosterone, and estrogen. They are experiencing something akin to roid rage. They are irritable, violent. It's exacerbating human psychology issues such as greed, pettiness, jealousy, toxic masculinity. Plus, they have an evil disposition. This technology gives them the ability to drive other organisms that are not their own. They can drive humans, animals, insects, and worms in any dimension. They call these surrogates. They make these surrogates from human biologies. They remove the biologies from the public, from humans and other species, and turn them into surrogates. So they are body snatchers. This is their business. They make surrogates for the Scientology community. Biologies that can be driven. They got a body parts farm. Body parts. I'm sick. They've been attacking me for 13 years. They kill people. They traffic humans. They torture and rape. Humans have been experiencing this since the 60s. Scientology began. Alien abductions. They experienced lucid dreams, out of body experiences, torture, sexual exploitation, rape, murder. The Scientology community, the aliens, are not policed. They have removed all of my extra dimensional biology to make surrogates and for transplant purposes. I'm sick. They can see the inner workings of the biology. They can see the brain and central nervous system lighting up. They can see energy flowing through our body. They can see fluids. Some of these people are using this ability to hurt me. They see my brain and central nervous system lighting up, so they damage it to keep it from working properly. They are infatuated with my brain. They have been destroying neurons, pulling neurons off of my brain and nervous system tissue. They are evil. On top of this, the Scientology community exploits people. If you have an ability that they desire, such as speaking or writing or participating in politics, leading a nation, if they find you attractive, they will exploit you, force you to assimilate, force you to practice Scientology so they can control your behavior. And if they don't do that, they install technology in your brain so they can control your behavior, so they can read your mind. They can read minds, read your thoughts, your inner voice, and they can persuade your behavior or control your behavior. They can make you feel certain ways about certain things. They can isolate individual memories and individual thought patterns and stimulate this area of our brain. Many people, especially people with authority, people with jobs that they desire to control, such as politicians or CEOs or the marketing companies, big business, they all are being exploited. They install technology in our brains without our consent or without our knowledge. This has led to a disposition that is dangerous. They think they can do whatever they want to anybody they want to do it to and get away with it. The FBI is using this technology to spy on people. And the people they spy on are in danger. I'm being murdered. I've contacted the CIA, the FBI, the military, the CDC, and even local police. This issue is classified. And the people in the upper levels of government are in on it. There's so much money to be made and so much power exploiting people. Scientology offers the ability to control people, the ability to exploit people. And because this technology has a narcotic like effect upon these users, it is causing psychological issues within these people. They are addicted. Their elevated neurochemistry keeps them addicted to their job. And their jobs are surrogate making, exploitation, experimentation. I am extremely sick. They just pulled another neuron off my brain. They found one working. They won't leave my property. They won't leave me alone. They do this 24/7 nonstop because of their technology having a narcotic like effect upon them. They are delusional. They have roid rage. Some of these people are in the government. They are government officials doing this to me. On top of this, this hive mind has subjected these subjects to an aura. They have an aura. They can do something to our neurons to make us radiate a feeling. We can feel each other's neurochemicals. We can feel what each other feels. This technology, some of it is recording devices. It records sensory perception input. It records sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. It records our neurochemical release and our nervous system functioning. So we can feel what each other feels. If you have hive mind technology, you can feel what another person is feeling, especially if they are turned on. If they have elevated neurochemicals and elevated PPT or elevated nervous system responses, such as what this technology does, you can feel what each other feels. So they are subjecting this hive to an aura. They have created a death and destruction aura. It's from the military. The military is subjecting us to this. It's war. It's an evil demeanor. It says kill. I was kidnapped by these people 13 years ago because I was a political activist on social media and an author. I'm part Native American. I was highly active on social media, participating in politics and writing literature, helping other people create ideas to help them achieve success in their life, whether it was with literature or with manufacturing, which is my profession. I'm a manufacturing specialist. My college degree is in tool and die manufacturing. I have studied the upper levels of manufacturing. I know how to create everything. Everything that humans use is created by tool and die, machining, machinist work. It's either made by a tool or a die that a machinist has created. I know how to create everything. And that was part of my forte on social media. I was helping people come up with manufacturing ideas, especially in the weapons department, because that was my job. I made weapons for the military, for the Department of Justice, and for the public. I specialize in less lethal munitions, tear gas, smoke grenades, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets, sandbag bullets, and I even made the deterrence flares that went in fighting jets. You know, when fighter jets have a missile coming towards them, they shoot flares out the back of their plane to deter the missile. I made those flares. I made the cans, and the military loaded them. I became a person of interest. First, civilians got to me. They installed technology in my brain. They forced me to assimilate mind reading technology. They became attracted to my psychology. Scientology gets the best of us. They're taking the best ones. I was fighting the good fight. I'm a libertarian, a Bernie bro. I want what's good for the people. I want Medicare for all, affordable housing, free schooling, food stamps for everybody, communication devices for everybody, cell phones for everybody. I want to raise the minimum wage, better working conditions. And this was my fight. And I was succeeding. I did work on the war on drugs. I helped the people choose better substances. Only a white market can kill a black market. Americans and humans in general, they like drugs. They've been taking them since ancient times. And then recently the American government has went to war on this aspect of human behavior. It has taken many lives, destroyed many lives, and it's suppressing people way more than what drugs have taken from us. Now we have dangerous drugs on the streets. Fentanyl, laced drugs, amphetamines. Because the government won't let humans do drugs. And we have research chemicals that are dangerous. Because these are the drugs that are easiest to manufacture and easiest to transport, easiest to get through customs and detection. We have to come up with a white market to help humans do drugs better. Things like mushrooms, psilocybin, marijuana, and even lesser analogs of stimulants, such as Kona nuts or cocoa nuts, whatever they are, should be legalized. Kratom. I fought in the war on Kratom and won. This is my stance on the war on drugs. Our prison systems are overrun. because someone had a substance, possessed a substance. Not because they were dangerous, not because they were evil or criminal, just because they were suppressed into the black market. Someone said even cocaine should be legal. I think coca leaves should be legal. The natives like to chew them or make tea out of it. Cocaine can be dangerous in large amounts. But here's what I want more than anything. I want to make humans better. If we made everyone doctors, then drugs would become a non-problem. They would have the knowledge to deal with drugs. They would have the capabilities or the clearance to deal with drugs themselves. Humans take drugs. We have since ancient times. Someone just said marijuana should be legal. Marijuana should be legal on a federal level. We should be able to grow it ourselves in our backyard. And the police should be able to control commerce and transportation. I think we should even be able to grow poppies, opioids, in small amounts in our backyard. And if humans were better, healthier, had better lives, had better homes, had better food sources, had better access to resources, had better jobs, and were more comfortable, they would be superior to our current population. They would be able to handle drug use or not. Drug use would be reduced because they would feel better all the time. The war on drugs has taken more people from both sides than drug use ever has, especially now that we have dangerous drugs on the streets, such as fentanyl. It has replaced the human's need for opioids. We should be able to grow a little patch of poppies in our backyard and drink poppy tea for our ailments, especially the older generation. I'm getting older myself, and now that I have been attacked by aliens, I feel a need to have some kind of relief. I'm sick all the time. A little bit of stimulation helps me so much, helps me feel better. I'm more clean, I'm cleaner. I clean my house more. I make better decisions with a little bit of stimulation. I don't do drugs all the time. I rarely do them. I can't afford drugs. I don't have a job. I'm too sick to work. And I have to be free. I have to be able to run at any time. So I drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. There are drugs that would be healthier for the public that even nobody even knows about. Pharmaceutical companies could produce lesser analogs, such as such as Vyvanse. It's a lesser analog of amphetamines. They give it to people with ADHD. But there's even better ones that could be produced that no one even knows about, that we could have a white market for. Such as you've seen that movie Limitless, NZT 48. There are chemicals or substances such as that can be produced for the public. Something that don't downregulate us. It helps us work better, helps us feel better. And you could even raise the age limit on these drugs, such as make it like an age limit of 35 before you can before you can purchase drugs, because the brain is still developing up until that time. Humans have done drugs since ancient times, and it never was a problem until recently, until the war on drugs. You read ancient texts, you don't see nothing about rampant drug use or mass addiction or even overdoses. You don't see that in history. I think ancient humans were healthier. They were superior to our current population. They weren't diseased. They didn't have diabetes. They didn't get as cancerous as we do. They didn't have cancer at young ages. They worked more. They had to build shelters and hunt and farm and walk everywhere they went. They had healthier brains, healthier bodies, but their immune systems weren't as advanced as the current population. Plagues and pathogens caused a lot of damage to the population, and environmental dangers such as wild animals and being subjected to the elements. It caused a lot of deaths and wars, not being policed, violent behavior amongst people, raids, theft, and slavery. It reduced the lifespan of ancient humans. It wasn't drug use that did it. Humans could be better. We could be provided everything we need to survive, to excel. Yes, you have to give the public better options. Humans are going to do drugs, especially our current population that is sick and diseased and that are missing biology. Scientology is causing sickness among the masses. If you lose extra dimensional biology, you become sick, especially brain and organ tissues. which is what they want. They want your brain and they want your organs for their surrogate purposes and for transplant purposes. It's causing sickness among the masses. Anywhere they go and set up shop, people start getting sick and dying. There's a hot spot in New York City. There's a hot spot in LA. There's a hot spot in Florida, southern Florida now. And now there's a hot spot in North Mississippi. Yes, Suboxone is good for the addicted. It has way too much affinity. It downregulates. Suboxone downregulates receptors. But it is a better choice than fentanyl because you can't OD on it. It is a partial agonist unless you mix it with other drugs. If you don't have downregulated receptors and you take buprenorphine, it will cause an extremely narcotic-like effect. You will have serotonin syndrome, which is you get nods, you nod out, get sleepy, go into a dreamlike state. Buprenorphine will do this to people that are not addicted. So it is only a good choice for people that are downregulated, people that have used drugs and have downregulated their brain. Then they can take buprenorphine and feel better. If you're not downregulated and you take it and mix it with other drugs, it can kill you. We have experienced several deaths. I mean, not many, but there have been several deaths, people mixing buprenorphine with other drugs, such as buprenorphine and Xanax. That is a dangerous combination for people that are not addicted. It can kill people, especially young people. So I still think buprenorphine should be regulated, should be controlled. But it helps many people. I was on buprenorphine for a long time, for like 7 or 8 years. I come from a household from the pill mill days. My grandfather, my uncles, several uncles, my father, they were all receiving pain pills every month, like 90 Lortab 10s, and then 90 Xanaxes every month. And they were poor. They were all on disability, not receiving much money every month. And we would run out of money because we had so many kids to feed. My father was a drunk, and everybody used tobacco, smoked a lot of cigarettes. And I was the only one that had a job. I was the only one doing good in the family. I had a career and a job, and I wasn't addicted to anything. But I did have severe depression and a brain deformation. It caused me to be, what's the word? I'm sick. I had brain fog. It caused me to become addicted easier. So they would come to me asking for money, and the only thing they had to offer was their pain pills. So I was forced into a position where I had to help them and take pain pills. Eventually, I started taking them, and we had hundreds of them every month. And yes, they would sell them to other people. So for a long time, I did all okay. I had friends that took pain pills, so it was easy for me to get rid of them. And then everybody got sick. My grandfather got cancer and he started dying. And my grandfather was my favorite person in the world. I had to take care of him. It was extremely stressful watching him degrade. I became depressed. I started taking more pain pills. And then you know what happened? They sent us more pain pills because my grandfather had cancer and was dying. We started getting Dilaudid, K4s, morphine tablets, boxes of pain pills. That's when I decided to get on buprenorphine. Plus, I had a friend that did heroin, and he shot me up one night. I started nodding out. He became afraid that I was going to die at his house, so he kicked me out. I had to drive home in this state. The next week, I went and got on buprenorphine, Suboxone. There were so many pain pills around me, and I was becoming more addicted. And it helped me. I no longer took pain pills. And it was a partial agonist, so it didn't affect me very much. I was more wide awake. I didn't have serotonin syndrome anymore. And I felt better. And I took them for several years. And eventually I got off of them. I didn't like it anymore. Because once you're on buprenorphine for so long, it stops giving you a narcotic-like effect. It doesn't have a narcotic-like effect. It brings you back up to a normal state of mind. It causes your brain activity to become normal again. But I didn't like being addicted to something. It is still addictive. It is dependent. It causes dependency. I didn't like this, so I got off of them. Plus, the people around me wanted them all the time, and I wouldn't give them to them. I helped a few people out, very few times, because they were dependent also. They were on drugs. Most of the drug users we have today became dependent during the pill mill days. They started out on painkillers, and the government did that to us. The government pumped so many pain pills into our homes for so long, it destroyed a lot of lives. And they are profiting from it. First, they profited from the sale of pain pills. Now they're profiting from having so many addicted people. Prison systems are filling up. Drugs are filling the streets, bad drugs such as fentanyl. And they're profiting from the war on drugs. And they're profiting from addiction services such as buprenorphine and rehabs. When all we have to do is create a white market for people. I got off drugs, but I'm a class A personality. Drugs were not very, they didn't have very much effect on my life, except a very short time span during the pill mill days when my grandfather was dying. There was about a year that I went downhill. I started taking more and more of them. Then I got help. But I'm a Class A personality. I do things like that. I make up my mind to do something and I do it. If I don't like something about myself, or if I don't like something, the way something's going, I know how to change. And there is so much help in this world. There's easy things to do. So buprenorphine really helped me out a lot. And looking back, I didn't even need it. I needed to just get clean. But having so many pain pills around me makes it hard. And my father was abusive. He yells at the top of his lungs every day of his life. And the painkillers that he was on caused him to be irritable all the time. He made our lives a living hell. He's extremely abusive. So things like this, things like I've just discussed with you, on top of my employment, my participation in politics, my participation in the war on drugs, the literature that I wrote, helping other people succeed, achieve ideas, or create ideas. That got me assimilated. Scientology jumped on me like a fly on shit. The whole hive mind set down on me because I was so powerful. They became addicted to me. I got abducted by aliens. And these people are on narcotics themselves. Technology induced integration. This technology is elevating neurochemicals and hormones. It's like they're taking pain pills and steroids at the same time. Plus, it's a criminal enterprise. Yes, being dependent sucks. It sucks having to wake up and take a pill every day just to get through your day. And it sucks when you run out and you can't function properly. But down regulation, it can be reversed. You can upregulate again. It's hard to do. It's hard to get your brain to a state where you start to upregulate. It requires metabolism change. It requires anabolics, where your body starts to enter a regeneration stage. You see this in weightlifting. They take steroids and narcotics to try to get themselves to be anabolic. Your body changes its metabolism and you start to regenerate. Your muscles grow. Your brain starts to regenerate. They upregulate in this state, especially with good exercise. And it's hard to get to this state without substances. Some people can't achieve it without substances. Some people can. I found tricks and techniques to help the brain and central nervous system, like eating better, taking vitamins, exercising, and just doing things that you love in general. At first, it's hard when you're downregulated to get back into your hobbies. But if you do it a little bit, if you force yourself into practicing your hobbies again, something that you used to enjoy to do, over time it gets better and better and better. Someone just said staying away from drugs in general. Well, the medical field has figured out that you can't just go cold turkey and be healthy. You have to taper yourself off of narcotics. And I have found that narcotics help you upregulate if you do them properly. So what I did when I quit using drugs, I would plan a drug use event. Like I would plan something in the future where I could take a drug and do something fun, and it worked. Like I would plan a day at the lake and take something like amphetamines or some narcotic, just in small doses or just a little bit, way into the future. And it helped me upregulate. Now I've stopped just that one time, and I would feel good for days. But that was my taper down. After I tapered off of drugs, I'll do this sporadically, and I still do. Very often or very seldomly, I'll take a drug. Reduces stress, helps me become more creative, helps me write, it helps me feel better. And then I'll quit. I think this is healthy drug use. I think this is how healthy people use drugs. Healthy people can buy a bag of cocaine, do it for a weekend, then put it in a dresser drawer and leave it there, and not touch it for another month or so, and then do some more of it in a month. That's healthy drug use. Humans use drugs. They always have and they always will. Humans will always use drugs forever and ever and ever and ever, amen. Because they are so valuable if taken properly. You know that movie Avatar? David Cameron? He used cocaine to produce the movie. And it's one of the greatest movies ever produced. It helps us, it helps a lot of people be healthier, function better if used properly. A lot of people have taken drugs in the past and produced greatest works in history. Scientists, psychologists, doctors, lawyers, musicians. Some of the best music has been produced by people using substances. Well, I need something right now. They just took a neuron. Probably fixing to make a cup of coffee, make a pot of coffee. smoke a few cigarettes. I'm being attacked by aliens. Even a percentage of the money that has been spent on the military and the Department of Justice, policing and prison systems, and then rehabs, doctor visits, and the money spent on narcotics such as, or legal narcotics such as painkillers. Even a percentage of all this money was spent on making people better, getting people good shelter, affordable housing, good education, better lives. Drug use would be quelled a lot more than what we're doing now. I learned something from my days of trying to get clean. The more that I studied, I'm a study hog. I'm addicted to knowledge. I study science. You should see my Facebook page. It's nothing but scientific information, science, and then people being creative. The more that I learned, the more neural connections that I created in my brain, the more neurochemicals that I produce naturally. I mean, that's logic. Neurochemicals are produced by the connections in our brain. Once you form a new connection, there's a new synaptic gap where neurochemicals are produced. The more that I learned, the more knowledge that I gained, the more neurochemicals that I produced in my brain naturally. And I think that is the main reason that I got clean. I studied a lot. And that was part of my taper down. When I did use drugs, I studied. Because I used amphetamines to get off opioids. Amphetamines are less addictive. They don't downregulate. Maybe they do, but they help a damaged brain if used properly. So I take an amphetamine and then study and write, create literature. And my brain became healthy. I made more synaptic gas. I made more connections in my brain, more synaptic gas, produced more neurochemicals. Eventually, I felt better and better. Now I have another problem: the aliens. They have removed all of my inner brain tissue, all of my extra dimensional biology. I'm sick. My brain activity has been reduced to nothing. I used to be happy and energetic, go lucky all the time. Class A personality, always writing, always planning my next achievement. Now I'm sick and I just lay down all the time. I can't sleep anymore. They have my brain hooked up to so much technology that I don't function properly anymore. No, brain tissue does not grow back. It regenerates. Neuroplasticity is not a regeneration effect. It's a plasticity effect. What happens is if you damage part of your brain that is required for you to function properly, your brain will try to produce this effect in another area. So if you damage part of your brain, another part of your brain will take up slack. you will start doing this in another part of your brain. But brains do regenerate, not as much as what they've done. If you cut a part of your brain out, it don't grow back. We are not axolotls. We are not worms. We don't grow new brains. The inner brain tissue comes back. It regenerates slightly. These aliens, they're stupid. They are normal human beings, and they have no education at all. The people in Scientology are not doctors. They're not scientists. Yet they are working in a medical field of study. Scientology is a medical field of study, producing aliens, producing surrogates. It is all made possible by body parts, extra dimensional body parts. They are transplant specialists. They know that if you take this organ out, you can put it in an alien and then drive that alien. Without that organ, you can't drive it. And here's where it all started. To create an alien, you have to body snatch. If you remove your extra dimensional biology, you have to leave organs and tissues behind so you can function properly. If you take them all, you get sick and die, and you can't drive. You have to leave organs and tissues behind so you can still function properly and then drive your alien. If you took your whole inner brain out with your alien form while they were creating your alien, you can't drive that alien. You don't have brain tissue to accept the technology that is required for you to drive this alien. They have to leave brains and organs behind so you can accept the technology. So then you wind up with an alien form that is missing technology or is missing organs and tissues. And that biology also needs a full set of working organs and tissues to function properly. It can't be driven in this state. So they have to body snatch. So they go to the public and take organs and tissues from the public to complete their alien forms. And this is where it started. Back in later, my parents just got home.